Hey there. So, of course, this is Natisha, your online networking strategist. And so, this video is really all about what to do when your worst networking fear happens. So, I just got off the phone with someone who I was attempting to connect with. And it was such an interesting conversation. I think primarily because we connected online a couple of times, and me, I'm always trying to get people on the phone, get to know what it is they're doing, find out how I can be of service. Not for any selfish reasons, but because what I found is that as I've just lived around the country and moved around the country and the world, really, the more that you're able to assist and be of service to people, the greater resources you're really compiling, right? And so oftentimes I'm referred to as a resource strictly off of, I like to say GP, general purpose, but because I've compiled a list and just really all these people who I've helped and just helped just because it's good to help people, right? And so this particular individual was someone who I connected with a few times online. And so I wanted to get on the phone with them to find out, really just get a feel for who they were and their personalities. Because, sometimes the person online isn't always the person behind the scenes. And this is a perfect example of that. If you've met me face to face, I'm pretty friendly, pretty outgoing. And so, freedom friends, I'm all about making friendships, right? Creating these friendships and these relationships. And so I noticed as we were talking, I noticed the conversation was a little bit stagnant, like it wasn't flowing. We weren't, really getting to know one another. And so I spoke to it. I really made a comment about it. I said, well, I said, this conversation isn't exactly going how I thought it would go. I apologize if I caught you off guard. And so, immediately the person began to backpedal and, almost comment on the fact, well, you're asking me all the questions and you haven't said anything about yourself, like where you're from and as she began to talk, I noticed that she was really making excuses, right? And so, when networking, online, offline, both rules apply, right? If you notice that something is a little bit off, speak to it. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be rude, but you can definitely mention it. The whole point of getting out there, especially as speakers, as trainers, as authors, right? We're connecting with influencers. And so we're connecting with influencers to see how we can be of service. But at the same time, we also don't have to take any kind of anything that is verbally abusive or anything that just doesn't feel right. So just keep that in mind as we're moving throughout the world, moving around, moving and shaking, right? If you notice that someone you're attempting to build a relationship with, it's not working out, just, it's okay to end it. You don't have to stand there and continue to try to force a square peg in a round hole. The second thing that you want to do is affirm yourself. Remind yourself that it's okay. Sometimes people are going through things that really and truly have absolutely nothing to do with us. And I think this was one of those instances. She made a comment that she was sick, but then, started talking about all this other stuff. And, here's what I have found out. As I have moved throughout the world, I've supported and really provided resources for all kinds of people. And as a result of doing that, I have a lot of people in my back pocket. And I don't say that to brag. I say that to say that any person I meet, I guarantee you, I have a resource that I can provide to you or someone I can refer to you based on what it is that you need. And so because of, just supporting all of these people, I myself have become a resource, right? So it's, if you need to know somebody, then you need to talk to Natisha because she knows people. And so what I'm recognizing in situations like this, number one, you can do that too. You can become a resource just by simply helping people without expecting anything in return. That's important. But you can become the connector, the resource in your local community or, in your circle, period. And because of my ability to connect resources, I no longer take it personal. There was a meme I saw once. I feel like it was a quote, and I don't remember if it was Nina Simone, but it was basically saying, I don't know why anyone would deny themselves the pleasure of my company. And I think that way. This is an opportunity. Whenever things don't go awry or they don't go exactly the way you thought they should, this is an opportunity for you to affirm yourself and affirm the fact that, yes, you are a resource. Yes, you do add value to the lives of all who you meet. Yes, you do have, everything that you need in order to make shit happen. And so I had to remind myself, because I almost went into wait a minute, did I do something wrong? No, I didn't. And as the conversation went on, I just said, I certainly hope you get better soon. Like I said, I didn't mean to, take you off guard or offend you or any of that. And she hung up on me. And I have to laugh because, you win some and you lose some, but you try again. You live to fight another day. Do you remember that quote out of Friday? But, the good thing about networking with people online is where one person may not come through, baby, there's 8 billion other people out there for you to connect with and build relationships with. And so take the lesson, right? Whatever it is that you were supposed to learn from that experience, sometimes it's just about practicing your approach, practicing how to be confrontational with, or being direct. Practice being direct without necessarily being confrontational, right? Practice being friendly, practice, asking questions, practice getting to know someone. All of this stuff is practice. In the grand scheme of things, we're all beginners. Okay, at something. And so the way that you get better at something when you are a beginner, especially when it comes to meeting people and building relationships, is that you keep doing it over and over and over, and you don't even count it. You know what I mean? The Bible says, count it all joy. Just be happy about it. It's okay, because that's one less person that you have to connect or you have to concern yourself with assisting or helping. You know what I mean? People show themselves. And it's very important that when people show you who they are, believe them. This is someone who has all of their branding and all of that nicely packaged, and it's all awesome online. And I was like excited to talk to her because I was like, oh, we're in the same field. Maybe we can do some work together. I got a whole bunch of things that's coming down the pipeline for me. I would love to partner with some folk on. So that's that. Like I said, I'm going to be doing videos to send these out. So if you are a speaker, a trainer, an author, or have any desire to do public speaking, to do group trainings, or to write books, this is important for you to remember as you're out there connecting with influencers and influential people. Remember, freedom requires friends. So go out there and make some friends today, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.